G'day, g'day. My name's Jim. Well, actually it's Chris. Jim's my persona. I come up with the name Jim when I first got a computer about 1995, I believe. I was pretty heavy into the gym at the time, and I was liking strongman competitions and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's where that name came from. So I live on the north coast of Australia near Byron Bay, which is about an hour and a half's drive or so from Brisbane. It's a sort of a nice place. It's fairly quiet. Population around here is, only 30 to 40,000 or so. So it's not exactly a giant city, but it's fairly sort of biggish for Australia. So about 3 or 4 months ago, I started getting bad pains in the guts. I've always had acid really badly, puke up in my sleep and shit like that, so all the good stuff. And so I started shitting blood as well. And so I felt really bad one night. I went to the hospital and they gave me a X-ray, and it come up nothing could be shown. And so then I talked to my own doctor. The pain was still persisting, and he got me to have an ultrasound, and nothing showed up on that. I then went and talked to my doctor again, and he got me a blood test, and that showed up nothing. Pain persisted. So I called my doctor, and I had to go for a endoscope down the throat and a colonoscopy at the same time. I am 49 years old, just turned 49, and so that was absolutely fucking horrifyingly terrible. I'll tell you straight up, I freak out at anything to do with fucking hospitals and shit like that. They just scare the living fuck out of me. I have a really, really bad phobia and stuff, and I get, panic attacks and shit like that. Just weird shit. Just terrible. So I had to go without food for like 30 hours, and I had to take their fucking horrible shit that makes you shit through the eye of a needle. And pretty much it was like poison. It tasted like fucking poison. I was trying not to throw up the whole time. The whole lot made me so fucking sick. The fact that I'm type 2 diabetic and I had to go without food, and that stuff they gave me just fucking made me so crook and shit like that. So I finally managed to. I didn't think I was going to get it done. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. So I went into the hospital, and pretty much when they bloody took me into, which is basically a surgical room, it certainly fucking looked like that. And I basically had another fucking panic attack and friggin' burst into tears. And so they fucking drugged me, knocked me out. And when I was in recovery, the doctor that did the procedure came out and saw me, and he said, well, we found out what your pain was. You've got a cancerous tumour in your bowel. And, oh, wow, okay, that's wonderful. Fucking wonderful. And he didn't, whenever you watch TV and they say, oh, we found a lump, but, we're going to biopsy it, and it'll be, we'll take it from there, and No, he took a biopsy and shit like that, but obviously the guy's seen fucking so much of this before that he knows what it's looked like, I guess, and he just came straight out and he said, we found cancer. And I'm like, oh, great. That's wonderful. So he said, we're going to get you to go and have another CT scan, and we're going to bombard you with fucking iodine or whatever, so all the blood vessels and everything show up. We want to see how far the cancer has travelled, whether it's travelled to your lymph nodes, whether it's travelled to your fucking kidneys, liver, and all kinds of shit, whatever the fuck. And I was like, okay. So that was yesterday morning. And today I had to go and get a CAT scan done, a CT scan. So I went and had that done, and as I said, I fucking freak out this shit. And so I wasn't real doing fantastic, and they put me in the fucking big donut machine thing, and they sunk me into my head, so the machine, I was in it in my head, surrounded by this thing. So when I opened my eyes and looked around, that's all I could see is just a tunnel. And I used to have these really bad, I still do sometimes, have these really bad dreams, nightmares, where I fucking fall down a pipe and I'm trapped in this fucking pipe head first, and I'm struggling to try and get out and back out, and I'm just getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and I'm squeezing deeper and deeper and deeper, and basically I get crushed to death and I can't fucking breathe. And beautiful dream. So anyway, here I am laying in this fucking pipe, and these cunts put me in there and they just fucked off. They just left me there. And like, I know they can't be in the same room and shit as you, but they weren't even in the control room. They fucked. I don't know where the fuck they went, but I was in there for like fucking 15, 20 minutes by myself. The machine's not working. It's not doing nothing. I'm just in there. They're up into my head, surrounded in this shit, and I'm freaking out. And I'm started calling out, and fucking no cunt's answering. So I start like bellowing, and I've got a big voice, mate. They would have fucking heard me halfway across that joint. And finally, they fucking come running in, and like, now they're panicking and they're going, "Oh fuck, it's not our fault. Fucking, we're just doing our job and shit." And I'm like, well, yeah, that's okay, that's fine, but I went from being a fucking reasonably healthy person yesterday to fucking being told I got goddamn fucking cancer, and today I'm in the fucking tunnel of fucking death, suffocating and fucking, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm having a fucking panic attack. What the fuck do you want from me, basically, So they had to spend like fucking 20 minutes trying to calm me down. If they wouldn't have fucked off and left me in there, if they would have been in the control room or whatever, when I first called out, when I first said, "Hey, hello," if the guy would have said, "Yeah, we're here, it's good," then it would have been fine. But no, they fucking let me in there, so I just called, and I was fucking freaking the fuck out like nobody's business. And so I was ready to tear that fucking machine to pieces to get the fuck out, because I was just ready to flip. And so, yeah, anyway, so I went and ended up getting the fucking test done. They injected me with iodine, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and it basically felt like I'd pissed my pants. And like, I've got weird allergies where if I eat certain meats and certain foods and certain breads and things like that, I fucking go into hives, and fucking my body basically shuts down, and I go into anaphylaxis, and I have to take fucking adrenaline shots and shit like that, and antihistamines and all kinds of shit. So I'm freaking out that this iodine is going to fuck me up, you see. I've never been injected with iodine before, so I don't know. And I've been in hospital like 10, 15 times from having fucking these, attacks where basically I stop breathing because I'm having an allergic reaction. So here I'm freaking out that they're going to give me this iodine, and I'm going to fucking suffocate in the fucking tunnel of love that I'm having a fucking panic attack because I'm already in, Anyway, so here we come to the title of the video, and my puppy's out there barking. Lovely. They're going to get worse and worse for sure. Look, basically the title of the video, which is "I've got cancer, now what?" And that's not a reference to my site, to the channel or my videos or anything like that. It's a reference to now what? I've got cancer, now what the fuck do I do? Now what do I do? I don't know. I'm waiting to see if this test comes back, and I'm waiting to see whether I'm going to get told that fucking, it's spread to all sorts of parts of my body. I'm going to need fucking chemotherapy. Who the fuck knows, Even if it's the best scenario, I've still got to fucking do all that shit again going without food for fucking 2 days and feeling like I've been poisoned to go in for an operation to get fucking half my bowel removed. So that's what the title of the video is. Like, now what? I don't know. I don't know what now. I've got to wait and see what the test results show, and we'll see what they say from there. So I don't know whether I'm making this video because it might help me or might help somebody else. I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'm just going to sit here and wait and find out whether fucking my whole body is riddled with fucking cancer or not, or whether I've just got one little spot. So, well, I'm going to sign off, and I will be back with normal videos, my normal reviews and projects and stuff like that, because I want to keep busy and shit. Otherwise I'll just fucking do my head in, and when I find out what's going on, I'll make another video and I'll let you know. So that's about it. Alright guys, well, for those of you that stayed to the end, thanks for listening, and be good, stay safe, and we'll see you a bit later. Ciao.